The air in the Appalachian Mountains was crisp and thin as Zoe began her solo hike, a journey she had eagerly anticipated for months. She craved the solitude and connection with nature that only the ancient peaks could offer. As she ventured deeper into the heart of the wilderness, the vibrant autumn foliage painted a breathtaking panorama around her. The rustling leaves beneath her boots and the distant call of a hawk added to the symphony of nature. Zoe's backpack was filled with essentials: a map, a compass, water, and energy bars. Armed with a sense of adventure and a yearning for self-discovery, she had set out on the trail with confidence. The path was well marked initially, winding through dense forests and crossing babbling brooks that seemed to serenade her journey. However, as the day wore on, Zoe realized that the trail became less distinct. The markers, once frequent and reassuring, began to play hide-and-seek with the shadows of the trees. Undeterred, she continued, her curiosity outweighing any sense of unease. After all, she reasoned, the beauty of exploration lay in the unexpected. Hours passed, and the sun dipped below the horizon. Zoe, now surrounded by the inky darkness of the Appalachian night, decided to set up camp. As she unfurled her sleeping bag and kindled a small fire, the forest around her seemed to come alive with mysterious sounds. The crackling flames cast dancing shadows on the trees, creating an ethereal atmosphere that both fascinated and unnerved her. The next morning, Zoe awoke to a world draped in mist. The serene beauty of the mountains masked the growing realization that she might be off course. Consulting her map, she retraced her steps, determined to find the trail again. But the forest was an enigma, and every tree looked eerily similar to the last. Panic simmered beneath her calm exterior. As Zoe continued her search, she stumbled upon an old, weathered signpost. Its wooden arm pointed in a direction she hadn't considered. A mixture of hope and skepticism filled her, but she decided to trust the faded marker. Little did she know that this choice would lead her deeper into the heart of the Appalachian wilderness, away from the familiar routes. The landscape shifted as Zoe ventured into uncharted territory. Steeper slopes and denser vegetation challenged her every step. The once gentle, babbling brooks transformed into rushing rivers that demanded cautious navigation. The tranquility she had sought now eluded her, replaced by the persistent murmur of uncertainty. Days turned into nights, and nights into days, as Zoe continued her journey through the labyrinth of the mountains. Her supplies dwindled, and the once vibrant colors of the foliage blurred into a monotonous green. Doubt gnawed at the edges of her determination, but she pressed on, hoping that each crest would reveal the familiar sight of civilization. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Zoe stumbled upon a clearing. In its center stood an ancient, gnarled oak, its branches reaching out like skeletal fingers against the fading light. It felt as if the tree held the secrets of the mountains, whispering tales of lost wanderers and untold mysteries. With a newfound determination, Zoe decided to climb the oak. The sturdy branches provided a vantage point, revealing the undulating landscape beneath her. Yet, as far as her eyes could see, the Appalachian Mountains stretched endlessly, indifferent to the solitary figure perched on the ancient tree. As desperation set in, Zoe's thoughts drifted to the stories she had heard about the mystical nature of the mountains. Some spoke of benevolent spirits guiding lost souls, while others warned of malevolent forces leading wanderers astray. Caught between hope and fear, Zoe felt a primal connection to the untamed wilderness. With her last energy reserves, she descended from the oak and continued her journey. As the days passed, the world around her blurred into a dreamlike haze, her senses heightened, every rustle of leaves or distant howl of a coyote triggering a surge of adrenaline. The boundary between reality and imagination began to blur. Then, one fateful morning, Zoe emerged from the dense foliage to find herself on a familiar trail. A mix of disbelief and relief washed over her as she recognized the markers she had longed for. Exhausted but elated, she stumbled onto the path that promised her a way out of the labyrinth she had unknowingly entered. As Zoe descended from the Appalachian Mountains, the journey's hardships faded into the background. The sunlight filtered through the trees, casting a warm glow on the trail ahead. She marveled at the resilience of nature and the indomitable spirit within herself that had guided her through the wilderness. The experience left Zoe forever changed. The mountains had tested her, pushing her to the limits of endurance, but in the process, they had unveiled an inner strength she never knew she possessed. The winding trails, mysterious clearings, and the ancient oak became a part of her story, etched into the fabric of her adventurous soul. The Appalachian Mountains, with their enchanting beauty and formidable challenges, had become a chapter in Zoe's life that she would carry with her always, a tale of being lost and found in the embrace of untamed nature.